Roof box vent 101 basics. This is a further in-depth demonstrational video to the short that I just shot to give some better clarification. After watching it back, it might be a little hard for non-roofers and DIYers to follow. So if you haven't seen that short, check it out. But water coming under this, and it doesn't matter if it's this, it applies to any kind of flashing coming through a protrusion of your roof, needs to dump out on top of a row of shingles. What I showed in that video was how the water coming down this flashing flange right here is going under a row of shingles. People try to hide them, which is fine, but if you want to hide it under a decorative row, it needs to dump out on top of a row of shingles because you don't want it running under your roof layer. I've already popped this out. We're going to go through, as I said, a longer tutorial video of the issue and why, with a better visual of it, because some of these videos, like I said, is hard for some non-roofers to follow, or maybe roof salesmen out there that do final inspections of their subcontractors. I don't know, whatever the case may be. I want to try to do a little deeper dive into it, and if you like this style, give it a thumbs up and let me know. I'll try to do more of it. So I took this decorative row loose, just popped it loose with a flat bar. They just gooped it on with a sealer. I've already flat barred this out, and I also want to point out nail placement is crucial. They had two nails right in the keyway right here, which is not good. I'll address that when I go to do the repair, but I popped it loose coming down the side here. Pop this loose if there's any nails, which there was in the flange right here, so I can pull this out and show you what's going on. Right there is the issue. Any water coming down here, because it wasn't tucked under, is running off of that flange right onto the roof deck. Now, if it wasn't for this crazy, really high quality synthetic paper here, I don't know the brand of it, it's kind of hard and wore out, but it almost looks like the platinum style kind or whatever. Anyway, water's going under your roof layer. Furthermore, a keyway right under that is actually really bad. I've seen where people do catch the headlamp, which is fine, but you do need to be highly cautious if there's a keyway anywhere in the vicinity of that water coming off that flashing flange. Because where a keyway comes together, that's another crucial area where water could come in. If you look at this shingle piece I have here, going one shingle down further, this is the buildup, the visible, what I refer to as the headlap. That only comes up on average 1.25 inches past the common bond of the shingle. So from this point right here up, there is nothing but roof decking. See that there? Does that give you a better visual, hopefully, where that one actually is, right where I'm laying this one right here. So even if you do catch a top headlap row of shingles, and you're trying to hide it with a decorative row, the decorative row is fine. It's not the issue. I want to point that out very clearly. If you can hide it and it looks good, that's fine. But as I stated in that short, the cosmetics is second to quality of install. The important part is to get the flashing or the shingle under your flashing. It has to tuck under there so water coming off can get out of the row. So if you have this under that row of shingles, but it's under the flashing flange and done right, if water's on the flange, it'll be on the headlap, but then eventually run out onto the top row of shingles, not going under. So I want to show that because this was a perfect quality or perfect example, not only how it was short, but with that keyway right there. So if you are covering up onto your headlap and going to cover it, you need to make sure there's no keyway. If there is, either cut that shingle during the install, offset it, move it over, or put a piece of flashing, ice and water, something over that, because that is a crucial area. So if this is installed the same way as it is laterally, left and right here, but up higher, that would be the leak issue right there. So I'm going to continue on with this repair off camera because I've still got a few more to do and some other various issues here. I've got to pop this nail free, this one, and that one didn't appear to even have one, or it does, it's covered, I'm sorry, it's there. It's loose because water over time's gotten to it and wallered it out. Pop these three loose, get the next shingle laid in here, and I want to point out the reason they cut it was to allow the vent to vent out. So you don't want to shove full shingle under based on where your hole is. You might be restricting the ventable spot. So after watching that video back, I want to clarify, it's not that they cut it short, it's that they went over it. So you may want to cut it a little shorter. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to lay your shingle in here before you put it in, at your buildup, your height that's going to be installed, and take note of where your ventable venting spot is on this box vent. So if you look up under here, right here, provided that's in the general area of the cut, the actual hole in your roof decking, that would be the height that you would want to cut this down to, and they're not far off from it. The biggest thing is they didn't tuck under the flashing flange. Honestly, let me show you while I'm recording. We'll do this long format real quick. If I can do this with one hand, pop these free, and that one here, it's loose enough to probably do with my hand. Wow, the decking is kind of gone right there. I'm gonna try to set my phone on my knee here, because I need both hands real quick. It's There we go. Let's do that one too. Trying to get that other nail out. Because it's been under there for so long, it's started to go around and rot out a little bitty small hole right there. All right, now that is basically essentially prepped, we're gonna get a new shingle installed. Don't want my hatchet falling off there. I apologize for the camera. I need a videographer to film me here. Build up, build up. All right, that's how it should look. It's probably still cut just a little too short because, wow, oh my God. Did they not even cut a hole in the roof? Okay, there it is, but it's way up there. For a minute, looking through my phone screen, I didn't think they cut that hole. So this here being cut is actually doing a disjustice because it's not venting and it's cut short. So when I put my new shingle in, it will go up further, but the biggest thing is it needs to dump out on top of the row of shingles. I hope that is a better visual for you. It doesn't matter if you leave these cut like that and have that visible, or if you want to hide it. The biggest issue is it needs to dump out on top of something. So I don't know why people think, I'm going to consciously think about this, all right? Just me thinking in the mindset of another roofer out there. I'm thinking I want to hide this. But the point of it is to vent, so we can't restrict the airflow in the vent, and we also need to make sure water doesn't go under my work or what I'm doing as an installer to install this. It's not hard to think about, so I don't know why they're thinking about going through the extra effort to make it look good, but totally negating the fact of it's done wrong and water's just flowing right in under it. On all three of these down here, it's also under-ventilated, and this is also the same house I did a short on with the tree rubbing up over the front, so I just switched those out. Maybe check that out. It'll go on TikTok and YouTube Shorts right here. I don't know if you can see it. It is a Summer Harvest duration shingle. It actually blended pretty good. I think I took it down about right here, up at an angle, coming up to here. And you can see that if you look, I always put a couple dabs of sealer in the cold winter doing repair work like this, because if not, it will blow loose. You can see they're all stuck down up under there where I did it, because it had a massive worn out hole right through here. So that one's done. We're gonna do this one, do this one, do this one. Another guy took care of the chimney because it was exposed, and actually I'm gonna have to touch that up for him. They're rehabbing this home, and that's what you don't want happening right there. It was bare flashing showing, and they were gonna kind of put mud and tar on there, but you need to make sure it's clean surface and it's bonded, pressed into it, then put your fiber tape on and then press it into the tar. I'm gonna let him know about that. And this is the other one I got to do. You can see they're all clearly done the wrong way. You can see it is a duration. Blah, blah, blah. Can see that it is a duration. Another thing I want to point out right here, that top corner, they should be nipped a little bit. They do have a good flow channel of water to flow down, but you don't want them catching top corners like that right there. Otherwise it could run laterally right off your flashing flange. So I'll address it when I get to that. Yeah, that, same thing. It's just the reason I see that done more on box vents than any kind of flashing is because they typically nail them off, then they roof the roof and go right over it. So avoid the issues and the headaches. If you're a DIYer, your shingles need to tuck under the flashing. You can either install them prior to, leave the bottom loose, or you can just roof up completely. Don't nail around that area. Find the center, find your box vent, and mark it and cut it. I believe I've done videos of box vent installs. They might be old, so check back on the channel. I believe I've done a full one from start to finish. If not, let me know, and I will try to shoot one. All right, hopefully that gives you a little more clarification of tucking under the flashing and why it's so crucially important. You don't want to do something and save a few bucks to find out in a few years that what you did is actually done wrong and it's leaking, and then by that point when you notice it inside, it's actually pretty far along and you've got wet insulation, possible mold, rotten decking, drywall ceiling damage, paint staining, and just avoid it. Just avoid it all from the get-go. Take a few extra minutes, watch a YouTube video like this, use some common sense in it. Just because some dude on the internet doesn't mean it's true. There's many people out there that put wrong information. I'm not saying misinformation, I'm saying wrong information. All right, if you guys like it, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I gotta get going. I got more to do. We're gonna lose daylight quick, and we got another big crazy snowstorm getting ready to hit here in central Indiana. At least I hope it's rain. I just heard snow. I don't want snow. All right, until next time, be safe. We'll see you on the next video.